Okay, we want to, on the second question, we want to go in the order, basically that we just went alphabetically. Gail, Lucas, and then Paris this time to change it up. The question is, with this post having been held by Senator Brown for many consecutive years, what do you foresee as the new challenges of serving this district's constituents? What changes and adjustments as the new state senator comes in must be made going forward, and how will you meet them? Please be specific, starting with Mr. Gail.
As a state senator, I see the district as a whole district and not as an individual section. I would see the economy would be the primary focus, bringing an awareness to the diversity that we have in this area. We also will be having a great location. We have roads, we have water, we have access to good people. We also in the area we'll be looking at the areas that necessary for making us a better place and a better people. Some of the areas that we'll be looking at are just the economy. In the last 20 years, Wilson County, Twiggs, Northeast Housing, and Bibbs, the economy's just been terrible. And we'll just look at some of that right there. Thank you.
Okay, do I need to repeat the question again? Okay. With this post having been held by Senator Brown for many consecutive years, what do you foresee as the new challenges of serving this district's constituents? What changes and adjustments as the new state senator must be made going forward, and how will you meet them? Please be specific.
Well, one of the things you have to look at, water has become gold in the state of Georgia as we face lawsuits with Alabama, Florida, and the Georgia, and the federal courts telling us that we could not draw down from Lake Lanier for Metro Atlanta, and then we got a ruling by an appeals court that said that they can still draw down the water. Middle Georgia, Twiggs and Wilkinson County sits on the second largest aquifer in the world. So therefore, we've got to look at industries that use water. We have the transportation, we have the highways. So in order to bring industries to rural Georgia, we've got to find those companies that need water and use water, and then bring them into the Middle Georgia area. The other problem is that even though Macon and Houston surrounds everything else, Macon is the driving force. It is the engine that drives everything in the Middle Georgia. So therefore, we have to make sure that Macon stays on top.
Should I repeat it again, Ms. Paris?
I think I have it, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. As far as taking on the challenges that the senator was previously working with, of course, consolidation with Macon Bibb is certainly something that I'll be very interested in working on. I think that is very important to Macon and Middle Georgia. As far as the other counties, Twiggs and Wilkinson, they've got tremendous industry pitfalls there. I mean, 16 is running through. They're in between Atlanta and Savannah, just as Macon is, but there's so much rural property and so much room for industry there. And I think that maybe the problem has been we've focused a little bit too much on the major part and kind of left the rest of the state behind. That's very important as I go to Atlanta, to make sure that the rest of the district is not left behind. So I plan to go there and speak with a loud voice, build some bridges, and make sure that all of the people of this district are represented. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, one more question. And in this order, we'll go again to Ms. Paris, then Mr. Gail, and then Mr. Lucas. What of your background, education, experience, community service, and vision makes you as a candidate the best to serve this post, Georgia State Senator?
Okay. Well, as far as my background is concerned, my family has been involved in politics and civil rights and such as that all of my life. And I've watched my dad, I've watched my grandmom in the civil rights movement, and it's been extremely important to me to make sure that the rights of all people are addressed, not just a certain sector, but that all people's rights are addressed. So with just that base premise, and that is how I intend to serve, and that is how I have always served, is to make sure that everyone is represented, and that's very important to me.
Okay. Mr. Gail, do I need to repeat the question?
If you don't mind.
Yes, sir. What of your background, education experience, community service, and vision make you the candidate best suited to serve in this post of Georgia State Senator?
Thank you for that question. Out of my background, I graduated from Emory University, which gave me a broad education in diversity. But better than all that, we have human experience where we've worked in Africa, we've placed water wells, where we also have created jobs. We've also brought to the communities organic gardens. We brought to the communities a way of creating an awareness of education and aid. And into Central America, we've created jobs down in Costa Rica. When we were in Haiti, we were able to bring humanitarian supplies. So we understand the needs of the indigenous and of the people who are on the least side. We also understand the work that's been done in Katrina. Over the last 5 years, we've placed many people who were without houses back in their homes. We've been able to place people with their lost hope. We've been able to give them hope. Thank you.
Mr. Lucas, do you need me to repeat that again? Okay.
First of all, I'm a graduate of Tuskegee University, degree in political science, but I think what gives you an advantage, I've been there 37 years, I know department heads, I know the interacting of these particular departments. And the other thing is, you usually don't deal with a department head until it's the last minute there's a crunch. You deal with the secretaries, or you deal with the agency heads of those particular governmental entities. And that's how you get things done, by having the experience of dealing with them and being able to go and talk to them to try to help. One thing that we did right here in Macon, we dealt with the Day Parole Center. We had to deal with the Department of Corrections in order to get Department of Corrections that was willing to give up the Anthony, which is the Buck Melton Center now. They had to give it up in order for us to use that in the city of Macon. So you had to work with the department head in order to get them to back off of it. That was the only way we could have gotten that deal done.
Okay. Well, at this time, we will take the final statements, 30 seconds each, beginning with, again, by alphabetical order as we started. Gail, Lucas, and Paris. Your final conclusion statements about whatever you'd like to leave with this audience.
I'd like to leave with saying I'd like to have more kids in college than prisoners in the state penitentiary system. I'd like to see us have a place where people would want to bring their families and friends, and a place where it would be holistic, where we could boast, like they do in Central America, that we have more teachers than we have policemen. I'd like for us to be in a place where we could boast that we have the opportunities to excel in the abilities of. Thank you.
I'd just like to ask you for your vote July the 19th. Over these 37 years, I've had the opportunity to work for this community. Over $300 million to Mercer Medical School, $15 million to get House and Avenue paved, $6.5 million to the DFAC Center when they were overcrowded. I've done the work. Over $200,000 for the Macon Midget Football League, Outmuggy Little League, and Middle Georgia Youth League. I've worked for this community, and I've always worked when you call and ask me. So again, I ask you for your vote on July the 19th.
My name is Miriam Paris, and I want to be your next state senator. After working with City Council and realizing the importance of building consensus, and with over a 2/3 majority of Republicans in the Senate, we are going to have to learn how to work together. We won't get anything by standing in the corner by pouting. Certainly 37 years is commendable. But at this point in time, I think we are looking for the new progressive Democrats of America, and I intend to be your senator. Thank you.
candidates. We thank you for your time. Please give them a hand. Mr. Dennard.